Javed Iqbal Mughal was a Pakistani serial killer and child molester who confessed to the sexual abuse and murder of 100 young boys, ranging in age from 6 to 16. His victims were strangled, dismembered, and then dissolved in acid to destroy any evidence. Iqbal was the sixth of 8 children of his businessman father. He grew up in Lahore, attending the government Islamia College as an intermediate student. In 1978, while still a student, he started a steel recasting business. Iqbal lived along with boys in a villa that his father had purchased for him in the Shadbagh area of the city. On the morning of July 9, 1999, Faisal Razzaq, just 9 years of age, left his home in one of the many overcrowded neighborhoods of Lahore, a city in Pakistan's Punjab province. He worked at a workshop where children his age spent long hours folding cardboard into paper boxes, earning meager wages to support their families. His parents never saw him again. A few weeks later, Shakil Hassan, just 13 years old, said his morning goodbyes as he stepped out for school. He didn't show up for class that day. It shouldn't have taken Faraz Khan, another teenager, more than a few minutes to get back from a nearby grocery store where he had gone to buy some flour. Taslim Ullah, 14, Abdul Majid, 16, Zishan Nazir, 13, and Dilawar Hussain, 15, all went missing over the next few months, all of them among dozens of teenagers from poor families who were lost in the labyrinth of Lahore's historical streets. Among the missing boys was Ejaz Muhammad, lovingly called Kaka by his family. They roamed the streets in worn-out sandals and hung out in parks. Men paid them for head and shoulder massages. One day in October, Kaka and his brother were approached by 2 boys in the gardens of Minare, Pakistan, the site where Muslims gathered in 1940 to demand a separate homeland. Our boss needs a massage and he'll pay you double the price if you come with us. Together, they zigzagged through the streets and went down a narrow lane to a house numbered 16B on Ravi Road, located just a few minutes' walk from the Minare, Pakistan monument. Kaka was told to go inside to meet the boss, a small, bespectacled man with neatly parted hair named Javed Iqbal. His brother left in search of another job. It wasn't uncommon for them to work like this. That was the last time anyone saw Kaka alive. What happened over the next few months is the stuff of a stomach-churning drama involving a psychopathic and manipulative serial killer whose crimes were never conclusively proven in spite of the human remains discovered in his house, bungled police investigations, the never-ending wait for justice of grief-stricken parents, and a city gripped by fear. In December 1999, Iqbal sent a letter to the police and to a chief news editor of a Lahore newspaper in which he confessed to the rape and murder of 100 vulnerable boys. He wrote that he had strangled and dismembered the victims, who were mostly runaways or orphans living on the streets of Lahore after sexually assaulting them, and had then disposed of their bodies using vats of hydrochloric acid that he later emptied into a local river. Inside Iqbal's house, police and reporters found bloodstains on the walls and floor, the chain with which Iqbal claimed to have strangled the boys, and photographs of many of his victims in plastic bags. 2 vats of acid with partially dissolved human remains were also left for the police to find. A note claiming that the bodies in the house had deliberately not been disposed of so that authorities would find them. In his letter, Iqbal stated that, with his crimes completed, he now planned to drown himself in the Ravi River. However, after unsuccessfully dragging said river with nets, police launched the largest manhunt in Pakistani history. 4 accomplices, teenage boys who had shared Iqbal's 3-bedroom flat, were arrested in Sohawa. Within days, one of them died in police custody, a post-mortem suggesting that force had been used against him. The police said he had jumped of his own accord from a window. Iqbal claimed that the motive for committing the murders was his anger over a perceived injustice at the hands of Lahore police. They had arrested him on charges relating to an act of sodomy against a young runaway boy in the 1990s. The victim of the sexual assault had severely bludgeoned Iqbal, predominantly about the head, rendering him unconscious. According to Iqbal's confession, his mother's death, after watching his social, economic and symbolic status deteriorate following his attack and arrest, had broken a hell over him. He therefore resolved to make 100 mothers suffer and cry for their sons as his late mother had been forced to for him. It was a month before Iqbal turned himself in at the offices of the Daily Jang on the 30th of December 1999. He was subsequently arrested. He stated that he had surrendered to the newspaper because he feared for his life and was concerned that the police would kill him. Iqbal was sentenced to death. The judge passed the sentence saying, "You will be strangled to death in front of the parents whose children you killed. Your body will then be cut into 100 pieces and put in acid, the same way you killed the children." On the 9th of October 2001, Iqbal and an accomplice, Sajid Ahmed, were found dead in their respective cells at the Got Lakhpat jail. The pair were officially ruled to have hanged themselves with bed sheets.